This e-commerce brand went from an idea to $4 million a month by doing most things founders ignore. So this is my brand Qure, and it didn't have any celebrity status or investor backing, some viral growth hack, just had 9 things that every e-commerce store needs to scale to $1 million a month and beyond. So in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I built my brand and how the same frameworks can be applied to any e-commerce store or niche. So here's the 9-step blueprint to make $50 million in e-commerce. First, most people don't know this, but the best product ideas aren't found with market research, and this is how they're created. They're created from an origin story, built from real pain. So this started personal for me. My sister was struggling for skin for years, like expensive treatments, specialist appointments, and just zero lasting results. And around that time, I already was using red light therapy for my own health optimization. And she came to visit me in Croatia, and she saw my skin. And then she was asked immediately what I've been doing differently. So I brought her into my room and I showed this massive LED panel. She looked at her eyes like lit up, and she immediately asked, how much was it? And when I told her it was $4,000, her heart sunk. That was when we had this light bulb moment. Like, why hasn't anyone brought this into skincare, particularly just around the face? And that's when we went to Google, thinking that we were the first people to think of this idea, but there was about 10, 20 different brands. But at the start, we didn't think about creating a brand. We're just trying to solve a problem that actually mattered to us and actually mattered to someone that I loved. That was my sister. So the key is, the best business ideas don't often come from market research. They come from solving a problem that you deeply care about and is actually close to you. And that's where the DNA of the company of Qure was born. You can't just rely on a good product if you want to scale to $1 million a month. You also need to ride a trend wave. So you need to be able to trend surf the right wave if you want to scale quickly, because your brand needs big trend surface area. So what does that mean? Well, it means building on top of macro trends that are already moving fast. So for us, there was 3 that we were riding. There was red light therapy and its growing research base. There was at-home skincare devices, and then there was self-care and the beauty tech boom as well. So we weren't just creating a product, we were tapping into this cultural shift that made it easier to get press, to get influencers, to get customers on board, because they're already looking for a solution like this. And you want to go into a category with a large trend surface area so you can actually create or catch waves in the future. Now, with Qure, we've been able to hop on different trends in the beauty tech industry as a result of that. So every time a new piece of technology maybe comes out, we can ride these different waves, like we have with the water and shower filters that we now develop. And I see a lot of brands die early when they create a brand specifically on one trend wave. And this is the incorrect thing. You need a large trend surface area. For example, a lot of brands are built based on the keto trend. And now when the keto market is declining, it's very hard to then pivot and develop a new product or appeal to a new audience, because now they pigeonhole themselves in keto land. And a fantastic example of this was IQ bars. They grew to over $100 million because they were able to ride different trends. First on the keto trend, now on the high protein trend. And this is what's key if you're going to grow a brand to $1 million a month and above. Next, you need to get people to trust you if you want your brand to be successful, right? So this is about going from product to brand, and you want to position yourself for premium. So once we had a great product, the question was, how do we make this more than just a skincare brand? How do we turn this into a brand that has a brand story, a brand mission, and why it exists in the world? Who do we serve and why? Because this then will give us direction and a vision, which is critical, because without it, you can't really make decisions moving forward. This then acts as a filter for all the different decisions you're going to make in the future, especially around things like product development. It's also critical for building a team, bringing on stakeholders, bringing on manufacturers, influencers, because they all want to know why you exist. What's the mission? What's the vision? They need to be bought into if they want to support it. And our vision was to make clinical skincare accessible to everyone, just because we believe that beauty is a right, not a luxury. And we want to remove those socioeconomic barriers so that everyone could feel confident in their own skin. And feeling confident in your own skin should be a fundamental right. That was our story, that was our anchor, that was our brand DNA. And it led us to deciding what products to introduce down the line, what features the products would have. So all this anchored on that clinical angle. Bring clinical treatments to home. And then once you have a brand story, then you can create a name. The name Qure wasn't accidental. It was short, modern, and science-aligned. There was a fusion between Qure and clean beauty. It felt clinical and warm, memorable, but premium, because we wanted to cure your skin, not with the normal topical creams. We wanted to go deeper with our different technologies like LED or microneedling. Then we built a visual identity that reflected that. Minimalistic design, clean lines, soft tones, elevated unboxing that made the customers feel like they joined a club. The messaging that spoke to results, empowerment, and education. We didn't just put a logo on a device. We created a feeling, a promise, and a mission to democratize clinical skincare, making it powerful, effective treatments accessible at home. And that's what turned us into a product into a movement. I think most brands get this the wrong way around. They find a name and a logo, then they create a story around it. But the story and the mission should always come first, and the logo and the colors and the name should come second. So the takeaway is that products solve problems, brands shift identity. So build your brand by telling a story to your customer that wants to be a part of it. Then live that story through every touch point. So once your brand now stands something bigger, your product can't just be good, it has to feel different. And before you try to go viral, you need a product people can instantly remember the second they see it. So you need to make your products distinct. And here's my distinct Pentagon framework. So before you earn trust, you need to get noticed. Before you get noticed, you need to stand out. And that comes down to your actual distinctiveness, not just being different, but being memorable. In a saturated market like skincare, and particular LED masks, there's hundreds of them, most brands just fade into noise like everyone else. They'll look the same, they sound the same, they feel the same. So when we develop our product for the distinct Pentagon framework, there's 5 different layers we thought about. The first one is the experience. Every part of the customer journey, from the first scroll to the unboxing, needs to feel intentional. And we designed an LED mask with an app to customize the treatment, which completely changed the experience in how you use it. The second was the style. We intentionally made our mask the brand color blue so it would stand out in socials, come across as a copycat to other masks. The third thing is materials. We chose premium finishes and LED components that would cut into our margin, and it was actually a hard mask where everyone was going soft. Why? Because we wanted people to feel the quality the second they touch the device. People don't always understand the technology, but they can sense excellence. And if you felt our mask in your hand compared to the rest, you will see a massive difference. We created that hard mask on purpose when everyone else did soft, having high-end finishes and luxury chrome metallic edges to make it feel different. And number 4 is emotion. We really pushed our narrative of feeling confident in your own skin without makeup, and that's exactly what this product helps achieve. The 5th part is perceived value. From our pricing strategy to our educational content, we positioned Qure as a clinical grade product without the clinical costs. We didn't race to the bottom, we anchored high and delivered even higher. And the result, people didn't just buy the product, they remembered it, they talked about it, they trusted it even before they even tried it. So create a distinct product that builds momentum before your ads do. And it creates a beautiful flywheel where you get influencers on board, retailers interested, all because you're just not a cookie cutter approach, and use distinct Pentagon methods to turn your functional products into unforgettable experiences. Eventually you'll create a hit product, and after some things starts working, most founders rush to launch more, which from my experience doesn't work, because growth really comes from doing this. It comes from stacking trust, authority, influence, and proof. So trust is the real currency of eCom, and it compounds. The brand at its core is just a set of different associations stored in someone's mind, and you don't get that through hype. You earn it through consistency, through proof, through positioning. So we stack trust in 3 layers, and this is the way I want you to think about it. The first layer is micro influencers, everyday users showing real results. The second layer is estheticians, skincare professionals, validating the science. And the third layer is celebrities and media platforms amplifying the message. So you need a mix of all those 3 layers, and start at the first layer and work your way to the third. But none of it works unless the product works. So the experience needs to deliver, and the story needs to resonate, because skincare is a trust game, and the trust compounds. We built out in layers, but none of that was random. It was all engineered by actually making the unboxing feeling premium, designing a unique product that the marketplace hasn't seen, making the product actually work, that's non-negotiable, and giving people a story worth sharing. So the key takeaway is people trust you, they'll buy from you. If they don't, they'll scroll. Stack trust like building blocks to UGC, to experts, endorsements, influencer content, and media coverage. And once people trust you, they don't just buy your product, they join your mission. So if you want to build something that lasts, you need to do this for your brand. You need to grow horizontally. After our LED mask took off, we asked what's next? Not to cash in, but to deepen the transformation, to help our customers even more. So we expanded horizontally by bringing in microneedling to home, bringing LED for neck and deck, creating water filters. But here's the key. We only launched products that made our hero product stronger. Everything supported our core experience and mission. Also, we invested really early into product development. All our profits went straight into product development. We take any money out of the business. We built better products, and that's what gave us the power to keep going. We immediately started working on 2.0 versions so we can stay way ahead of the market. So the key takeaway is don't launch more products to make money, but launch them to strengthen your ecosystem, reinvest in innovation and the customer's results. These are your brand moats. And now as sales start coming in, it's easy to get excited and you try and scale like crazy. But if your brand's foundations aren't solid, this can destroy it before scaling. So you need to do this. You need to get better before you get bigger. And here are some reality checks from the journey. Our biggest lessons came from the hardest moments. Competitors ripping our products off for the exact same product, the exact same ads. We sought out multiple times and had months of back orders. We almost scaled too fast with paid ads and lost sight of the brand, and it almost broke us. But what saved us was taking a step back and focusing on the foundation, a great product, a powerful story, and a long-term mindset. We invest into product early, as I mentioned before, so we can consistently be ahead of the curve with our products. We sold less to keep the customers happier. Because if we just focus on getting bigger without getting better, we wouldn't have built the foundations of our brand, and as a result, we did $1 million in just 24 hours recently. But the real win is people talking about their skin changing forever and us helping them get there. So speed can kill your foundation. Now the product, now the story, play the long haul game. Think 10 to 20 years out. And the final piece of advice I have is that most people overestimate how fast success comes and underestimate what's possible in 5 to 10 years of obsession. So build a product that actually helps people, then tell the world one story at a time. If you like this, then check out my 15 years of e-commerce advice that will save you millions of dollars. Click the link below.